Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome to our play-by video of Eldritch Horror and Cities in Ruin, where we're just about to start turn 7, but it might be a completely different turn 7 from what you are expecting because I made a mess up last turn. I messed up with Lily Chen. If you recall, she was trying to shut the gate in San Francisco. She went to the underworld here and she did a test where she heard the sound of a gug chasing after her and had to do a will test because she was hiding. Now, she failed that will test, but I didn't roll enough dice. I forgot about Enoch Bowing. Enoch Bowing, the ally, gives her +1 will. Now, normally what I'd do if I was just playing solo is I'd just take that one on the chin and say, well, that's my own stupid fault for not counting up my dice properly. But I am playing with other people. Lily is Stosha's character, and it's not fair that I've made a boo-boo there. Stosha hasn't made any sort of error, it was me. Now, if it was the other way round and the investigators had got an advantage, then of course I'd be expected to roll for the game. That's only fair. So to be fair to Stosha, we're going to roll again. Now, if she passes, we're going to have to do a bit of retconning, as you will see. But if not, everything stays as it is. So one die to shut the gates. And it's a 6. Which is great, except I've got to change everything now. But I hope you understand that that's fair. It was my fault, it wasn't Stosha's fault, and she should have rolled an extra die. So she actually passed this. So that has been passed and she shut the gate. So what do we do now to make things correct? Well, first of all, the gate goes. Yeah, so we'll get rid of that. Put it on here. That means we wouldn't have had a monster surge. So we wouldn't have got a witch and we wouldn't have got a ghoul. We'll take the witch away, but we'll keep the ghoul. Why are we keeping the ghoul? That was the first monster we pulled out of the bag. And we need a monster because if there was no gate, when we got a monster surge symbol on here, we have to spawn a gate. So we spawn Shanghai. So we'll spawn the Shanghai gate. Move the expedition marker, which I'll talk about a bit more in a minute, and we'll put the Shanghai gate on here. Because it is a gate, it requires a monster. That's why we're keeping the ghoul. So the ghoul goes to Shanghai. So there we go. Okay, let's just check the Mythos card. Each investigator loses 1 sanity for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen. So, we all lost the sanity. Well, we get that sanity back. Yes, because we didn't have a gate on the game board that corresponded to the current omen. Then you'll notice there is a significant break in the text and we start a brand new paragraph. If no gates on the game board correspond to the current omen, advance the omen by 1. So we go from a green comet to a blue constellation. Because we now have a blue constellation, let's take that out of the way. Oh, let's put the witch back in the bag. Because we now have a blue constellation, we still move the doom marker. So we still got a devastation. Yeah, so Shanghai is still devastated. That doesn't change because the movement of the blue constellation means we still get to pull that card. We pulled Shanghai getting flooded, so that has been devastated. Now we come to my second error. And my second error was I should have took all the Shanghai cards out of the expedition deck. Once it's been devastated, these get removed. So I'll remove those. Then we've got to decide where the expedition's going to go. So we'll do our usual shuffle and a cut. And that looks like Antarctica to me. Indeed it is. So we'll put that deck back and we will move the expedition marker to Antarctica, where it can keep the gassed company. Let's put these back up that I've just knocked over. There we are. So we've sorted that out. Now, remember that sanity we got back? I'm not sure whether we lose it again. I don't think we do. Because as I say, there's this paragraph. That paragraph finishes, end, and then it says, if no gates on the game board, then advance the current omen. Whenever you advance the current omen, the doom track has to advance. That's in the rules. However, this bit about the investigators losing 1 sanity for each gate on the game board that corresponds to the current omen, i.e. the pyramids, that's gone. We have gone on to the next part of the card. So I do not think we lose a sanity here. So we actually get a sanity back. So I'll give everybody a sanity back. I think that means Lily goes up to 3. Bob goes up to, what does he go up to? He goes up to 3 as well. And it's 5 for Vinny and 5 for Ashcan Pete. So let me know if that's wrong, but I don't think it is. I really do think that that piece of text applies there, and then once there's no gates on the game board, you've moved on. So we've done that, and I think that is everything. So just to go through, Lily had to roll another die. I've just rolled it now. She got a 6. That means she did shut the gate. So the gate's been shut. We didn't get a monster surge, but we did get another gate. We got Shanghai. We pulled the ghoul. That goes on to Shanghai. The witch goes back in the bag. And because of that, we moved the omen track onto a blue constellation. We've got 1 gate with a blue constellation. So the doom token still moved. It still went to 14. It still triggered the Eldritch token. It still triggered the devastation. So Shanghai did get flooded. Then we had to take the Shanghai locations out of the expedition deck, and we had to pick a new location for the expedition, which went down here to Antarctica. Everybody got sanity back, and we are now up to date. Hope that's okay with everybody. The clue placement and stuff didn't change, so that is fine. So yes, we're in a bit better shape. Not much better, a bit. The best bit, I think, is getting the actual sanity back. Oh, there is one thing we've got to do. We've still got the Otherworld Codex. So let's see what the next gate is. And it's Rome. So I go to up there to Rome next time that we have a reckoning. Yes, because it's got to be a reckoning. It's got to be a yellow card to promote a gate. Right, so I hope everybody's okay with that. As I say, normally I would have let that slide as my own error and my own stupid fault, but it's not fair on Stosha. Stosha is running Lily Chen, so I decided to give her the chance of that extra die. And of course, when I get a chance with an extra die, I get 6. So, which has given me a load of stuff that I've had to do. So I've done this on Saturday morning. I'm not doing the actual turn itself till tomorrow, but I thought I'd do it now because I've got chance now to tell Stosha and Doug and Lawrence like where the situation is, so they can now pick their turns accordingly. As I say, just giving Stosha a fair crack with the whip there. It's not her fault that I made an error. So there we are. We've still got 2 gates on the board. Nonetheless, they're just in a different place. That's all. But tomorrow we will get on with previously on Eldritch Horror and Cities in Ruin. We'll do all that tomorrow, and we will do the actual phases as well of turn 7. I'll see you tomorrow. Pete and Duke wandered London, begging, bartering and doing what they needed to do in order to get a passage to Greenland. As Pete walked along, he heard a whimper from within a crumbling abode. Entering, he found an older man, trapped under a piece of the ceiling that had collapsed. Helping to dig the man out, he listened to the fellow. "It was them, I tell you," he said. "Them that brought the roof down on me, trying to silence me." "Who?" Pete asked of the man, as he clambered out from underneath and stood, dusting himself off. The man eyed him, almost manically. "Probably them that are looking for you too." Pete frowned. "No one is looking for me." The fellow contemplated for a moment and then nodded, extending his hand. "I'm Archie," he said, as they shook hands. "Pete," replied Ashcan. For the next 15 minutes, Archie recounted a wild tale of conspiracy. Pete would have thought it pure rubbish, but for the bits of things that he already knew to be true in the occult world. He even mentioned one Dr. Vincent Lee by name. That was someone who was known to Pete. After some further talk, Archie offered to accompany Pete and repay the debt of saving his life. Pete tried to decline, but Archie would have none of it. "I'll help you, Pete. I know things." Pete nodded. "Okay then. Do you know a way to get us to Greenland?" Archie offered a jagged-toothed grin. "Sure, that's no problem." Pete and Duke followed Archie to the shipyard, where it turned out that Archie did know a way. To Greenland then, and to face the terrible horror that Pete was not sure that Archie would survive. Or that he himself would survive, for that matter. So here we are with Pete, and he's doing very well. One of the few investigators that is. So he's got 5 health, 5 sanity, a couple of clues, a focus, a ship ticket, a train ticket. He's got the medical journal, King James's Bible, Archie the conspiracy theorist, Duke. He's still blessed. He's got the satchel to avoid the fetch stick, and he is practiced. It's a good job he's got all that stuff, because it's a big turn. It's a very big turn. He's got to get to Greenland, and he's got to find that ancient Chthonian. So that is it for Pete. Next up is Vincent Lee. Vincent slowly opened his hand and looked down at the small vial. Then he looked back up at his reflection in the mirror. Against all his reasoning, he pulled the stopper out and swallowed a mouthful. A strange warm sensation immediately spread throughout his body. He knew exactly what he needed to do. Back at Cape Town, Vincent wasted no time in arranging travel north into the Congo and to the heart of Africa. The sooner he could meet with Bob, the better. During Vincent's first leg of the journey, he got chatting to another passenger. The man told Vincent how he had sold everything he owned and borrowed as much money as he could to follow his dream, hunting some missing treasure. The man wanted to share every small detail of his plan with Vincent. It was like he was in awe of Vincent, and he hung on to every word that he said. It was at that point that Vincent noticed he was fingering the small vial in his pocket. Okay, here we are with Vincent. So Vincent's not doing too bad either. He's got 6 health and 5 sanity, since we got some sanity back because we had to do that retcon. He's got a ship ticket. He's also got a focus. He's composed, skullduggery, the sword of Yahat Tala, the Tikkun elixir, and he's got courier run and the, sealing the old ones, and righteous. So that is it for Vincent. Next up is Bob Jenkins. Bob headed for the pyramids. Although confident at first, a creeping unease started to build inside him. Then his ship had docked off Rome. Well, what was left of it? The port was full of relief ships for the disaster effort. Bob paid for his passage to Alexandria with a heavy heart. Arriving in Egypt, he found the place in uproar. A huge, otherworldly portal had opened between the forelegs of the Sphinx, and a huge beast was stalking the monument by the light of the moon. Bob had persuaded some toughs from the local bazaar to help him check it out. There had been a pitched battle under the stars, and Bob had managed to wound the creature. As they tracked the bloodstains, his toughs had flushed out a horrible rat-like thing which had attempted to steal Bob's rifle. It tried to flee, but the toughs had beaten it to death with spades before it could escape. The next morning, Bob decided that he couldn't pursue the moon beast any longer, and that the gate would have to wait. He had to head south. He had to find the kingdom of Kush. So here we are with Bob. So he's got a sanity back because of the retcon, so that's good, because it puts him on 3, but we're still pushing it a bit with Bob. Compared to Vincent and compared to Ashcan Pete, he's in a bad way, and he's got to help fight this ancient Chthonian, so that is why he's going to the heart of Africa. Still got his personal assistant, he's still got his security squad, he's still got the museum curator, he's got his Winchester rifle, visions, Otherworld Codex, and for the greater good. As far as visions went, I forgot to use it again last turn. When Vincent got righteous, he could have used it. He could have flicked it over to see what was on the other side of righteous. He should have done that, because sometimes they do have some really good stuff on the flip side. But unfortunately I forgot to do it, and this time I'm not going to retcon that because it was my personal mistake and not a mistake of another player. So we'll just have to live with that one. Right, so that is it for Bob. He's still impaired, but yes, he's just going to have to go down there and he's going to have to try and help Vincent kill the Chthonian and the ancient Chthonian. So I don't think he may survive the combat, but I don't think he will survive the Mythos phase. We will have to see. Okay, that's it for Bob. Our final player is Lily Chen. Lily knew she had to try again to close the gate. As she approached and went through, she felt the pull. She found herself surrounded by ghouls who did not appear to hold any antagonism toward her. She tried to persuade the ghouls to help her. It took a while, but they finally assented. They directed her to the Tower of Koth in the city of the Gugs. Gugs. It would have to be Gugs. Lily hated Gugs. Sure enough, one of them decided to chase after her just as she began to climb the stairs. Lily ran from it, closing the gate behind her as she did. Once outside the now closed gate, Lily decided that, as hard as it was, she needed to leave San Francisco. Her investigations here were complete. Rumours of ancient monsters showing up in Greenland had reached her ears. Lily thought, I took on one before, I can do it again. Yes, you can, Lily. So Lily is going to go to Greenland with Ashcan Pete in an attempt to kill the other ancient Chthonian. Now, she's not much better off than Bob is as regards health and sanity. She does have 4 sanity, by the way, not 3. I also forgot, and thanks to Stosha for reminding me, that she got an extra sanity taken off her when she failed the first time, failed that gate closing. Well, of course, she passed it because she got the extra dice that I'd forgotten about, so she gets that one back as well, so she's on 4 sanity. But she's in a better sort of situation than Bob, because Bob and Vincent, well, they're going to struggle to kill their monsters. However, Ashcan Pete and Lily herself, they are tooled up to the max, as you can see. So I don't think they will have any problem in killing their ancient Chthonian. Hopefully, that'll mean they won't lose too much health, too much sanity, and they'll be okay in the Mythos phase. However, let's have a quick look at Lily. She's got 3 health, she's got 4 sanity, she's got a train ticket and a ship ticket, which will be very important. She's got Enoch. Don't forget about Enoch, Paul, and his extra dice that you can roll. She's got the ancient sword now that she got from Bob, so that should help out. She's got the lucky rabbit's foot, the protective amulet, and of course she's got all those talents of hers. So I'll have to make sure that I go across this before she fights the ancient Chthonian. Just make sure I've got every sort of bonus that she's entitled to. Okay, that is it for Lily, and that is it for previously on Cities in Ruin. Next up is the action phase. And here we are at the action phase, and our first player is Ashcan Pete. So what's Ashcan Pete going to do? Well, for his first action, he is going to gain a focus, which could be extremely useful. That puts him up to 2 focus. And then he is going to do a travel action, and he is going to travel to Arkham, where he's going to spend his ship ticket, and he is going to move up here to Greenland and that ancient Chthonian. Dun, dun, dun. Right, that's it for Pete's action phase. Next up is Vincent Lee. And here we are with Vincent. So, what's he going to do first? Well, we're going to do some rolling first because he's going to do his Cocoon Elixir again. So, action, he's going to test will. He's got a will of 4. If we pass, we can spend a sanity and gain another boon condition. So, his will is 4. He does have a focus, but hopefully we won't have to use it. He's composed as well. We've got a 5. That's good enough. That is fantastic. We'll get rid of that. And what are we going to do? We are going to pick a boon condition after we've spent that sanity to pay for it. Let's get the boon deck. Here we are with the boon deck. A quick shuffle. Remember, he can't get righteous again. So hopefully that'll mean he'll get blessed. So we'll pull off the back, quick study, that's not a boon, blessed is a boon. So we have got Vincent blessed eventually. So now it could be really good, because righteous, I'm not a big fan of righteous. You do need a reckoning with righteouses, because they're better on the back. But as it stands, blessed, excellent, 4, 5 or 6s can count as successes, and that's just groovy. We love it. So we have gotten Vincent blessed for his first action. That is great. We'll give him his elixir back. That'll help. And what's he going to do for his second action? Well, yes. He is moving up here to the heart of Africa because we've got a bit of fighting that's got to be done. That is it for Vincent. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob. What's Bob going to do for his first action? Well, we've got to try and give him a bit of a chance. So let's give him a reroll. Let's gain a focus. So he's got a focus. Hopefully that'll help him out. And for his second action, he is going to move here and he is going to join his friend Vincent Lee. And they've got a real nice job ahead of them. That is it for Bob. Next up is Lily Chen. And here we are with Lily Chen. Now, we're going to give Lily Chen the best chance possible as well. So, similar to Bob, she is also going to get a focus. So, good stuff. Then, she's got a bit of travelling to do herself. So, first of all, what she's going to do is she's going to travel to Space 5. Then, she's going to spend a train ticket, which will get her to Arkham. And then she's going to spend her ship ticket. And that will get her up here with Ashcan Pete. So we are all set up for the big showdown. And that will be next. Because next, it's the encounter phase. And here we are at the encounter phase with Ashcan. In an effort not to make a mistake, I've dragged everything out that he's going to need. So hopefully I'll do it right. He's got 2 focus, he's got 2 clues that he can use. He's got the fetch stick, which obviously he's going to do the actual combat with. He's got the King James Bible, which I brought out because he will get a reroll on his horror check. Duke, you get a reroll on a test anyway. Practiced once per round, you can roll an additional die and re-roll up to 1 die when resolving a test. So we'll be using that, and of course he is blessed. So let's have a look at this Ancient Chthonian. So first of all, we've got the horror check, which will be will -1. Now the will for Ashcan is 3, I think. Yeah, so he'll be rolling 2 dice. Needs 2 successes to avoid taking any sanity. We'll use the re-roll for the King James Bible, but we'll try not to use anything else because the combat check is the thing, and the combat check is a -2. We need 3 successes, but you know what? Just let's get some successes on it. So first of all is the horror check. So as I mentioned, it's going to be 2 dice, but it's 2 blessed dice, and we have a re-roll from the King James's Bible. I cannot believe we failed both of those on blessed dice. It's a joke. Come on. And we failed the reroll as well. So he loses 2 sanities down to 3. But, oh, just let those be the fails that we get. Let's get these fails out of the way, because now we've got -2 on the combat check. He's going to use the fetch stick. So we get +6. And there's also a chance that we gain a clue. So +6 with 3 strength is 9. -2 is 7. But remember, he's practiced, so it's going to be 8 dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Surely. And we get a re-roll from Duke, and we've got all practice and everything. Surely he's got to get some more successes. That looks a lot better. So we've got 2 successes there. We've got a 5 and a 6 here. So that's 4. He might actually kill it. He might actually get to kill it because we've still got re-rolls. And we are going to use those re-rolls. So first of all, we will use a focus. Oh no, we won't. In fact, yeah, Blake was telling me, why are you using focuses when you've got cards? And he's quite right, I should use the cards first. So first of all, we'll use Duke. We just need 1 more success, people. Come on, Duke. A 2, that's rubbish, Duke. Right, then we've got practice. Re-roll up to 1 die. So, practice. Come on! Just a 4. Yes. So, 5. We managed to kill one. So, don't you fall over, Pete. You're fine, mate. So we've managed to kill this guy. We have managed to kill one of the ancient Chthonians. We are halfway to solving the mystery. So that's a good start. We're in a bit of a... It's a bit of a downer, actually, that we've got both Lily and Ashcan up here, because they're our 2 best fighters. Unfortunately, we've got our 2 worst fighters, who are fighting an ancient Chthonian and a normal Chthonian. But at least we've killed 1. So that is good. We're halfway there. Now, because he's killed it, he can have an encounter. So he'll have a wilderness encounter. So, generic wilderness. Here's the deck. Whoop. Oh, those are me. One flipped the wrong way. Right, there we go. And a cut. Wilderness. The wind shifts direction briefly and you catch the scent of something that's been tracking you. You look for a way to throw whatever it is off your trail. Test observation. What's his observation? It's 3. Does he get any observation help? There is the conspiracy theorist, but that is just for research encounter. So it's just 3 dice. We'll take some of these successes. Come on. And we get 2 successes, a 5 and a 6, so that's good enough. If you fail, that's just an if you fail. So we didn't fail, so that's fantastic. And that is it for Ashcan. Well done, Ashcan. I'll clear all this up. Our next person is Vincent Lee. And here we are with Vincent. And the first thing you see is he hasn't got as much stuff to help him. Ignore that clue, that is actually on space 11. It is not here for the combat. So he's got a focus, he's got the Sword of Yahatala, the Blessed Condition, and he's composed. But he's also got 2 monsters to fight. So we have to fight this guy first, and we also have to fight both of them. It's not a question that if you don't kill one, that you can't move on to the other. You have to encounter all the monsters on a space, even if you don't kill it. So here's the Chthonian. Because it's a normal monster, we have to fight it first, and it's still horrible. So first of all, we've got a will check, -1, and we can lose 2. We can lose 2 sanity. So, what's his will? At least it is 4, but he isn't blessed. So, 4 dice. Come on. Oh, yes, 3 successes. So, he doesn't lose a single sanity. That's good. And then we move on to the combat. Now, I'm sure that this guy is -2 as well. Yes, it's very similar, apart from the fact it's got more health, I think. So here we go, it's -2, and we need 3 successes, ideally 4. He's got the Sword of Yahatala, which is... Oh, we should have gained +2. It didn't matter. We passed anyway. Sorry about that. We passed anyway. We should have got 2 extra dice. +3. He's got strength of 2, so that's 5 dice, and he doesn't get anything else, does he? So it's 5 dice during combat encounters, and it's -2, so he's only going to get to roll 3 dice. He was blessed as well. I should have rolled different coloured dice. Oh, wake up! So he's going to be rolling 3 dice, and we need as many of these to get in as possible. Come on. 2 successes. Now, I think 2 successes is good enough. Oh no, we'll lose a health. We're going to lose a health because I want to keep composed and everything for the Ancient Chthonian. So we did get 2 onto it. And Vincent unfortunately loses a health, but that's alright because he's got 6. So it's not so bad for him. So he's fought that one. Now it means he can't do any encounter afterwards because we're still going to have that Chthonian there. But we do move on to the Ancient Chthonian, which is exactly the same, except it's got a horrible reckoning effect and it's got 1 more sort of, 1 more toughness. So I will continue to roll the blessed dice instead of the bloody like other ones I did, and he actually gets 5 dice, doesn't he? So it's 4 will. Oh no, he gets 6 dice. 4 will +2 -1, so it is 5 dice. So 5 dice, and he needs to get at least 2 successes. Come on. And he gets 3 successes. 3 6s. We'll keep those. And that is good. He doesn't lose any sanity again. Then we're going to do exactly the same. We get +3, plus his 2 for his strength is 5, -2, we get 3 dice to roll. So we'll roll those 3 6s. And this time we will use Composed, and we will use that focus token if we have to. He gets 2 successes. We'll take that. We are going to use Composed. That wasn't a 1, it was a 2, wasn't it? And oh, it says re-roll all your dice. We're not going to use Compose because I do not want to re-roll all of them. I'm happy with 2 successes. We'll just use the focus token. Come on. A 5. We get the 3rd one. That is brilliant. So that has worked out very well. So we'll get rid of this focus token. He doesn't lose any more health. And he puts 3 onto the main guy, the one we really want to get rid of. So no pressure, Bob. So there we are. So that went okay. Okay, we lost a bit. What did we lose? We lost some sanity, and I nearly forgot he was blessed all the way through it, but we managed to correct that. And we didn't even have to use his Composed condition. That is a good start. So he's done well with the Sword of Yahatala, and he's managed to put a hurting on these monsters. Well done, Vincent. That's it for his encounter phase, because he can't have another encounter because there are monsters on the space. Next up, oh, it's Bob. Come on, Bob. And here we are with Bob and his merry troop of followers. Bob's in a big mess because he's only got 3 health and 3 sanity, and he's not particularly good at the will tests. He's got +1 from the Otherworld Codex. That's the only one that's in his favour, but we need to pass these will tests. We can't afford him to go insane. So the idea is just get past this Chthonian and then just do everything we can to kill the ancient Chthonian. Because we're doing it that way, we're going to have to use the security squad first against the Chthonian, because the Winchester rifle's only a one-shot deal. So the Chthonian, as we know, is -1 on the horror check. He's got a will of 3 because of the Otherworld Codex, so that means we will be rolling 2 dice. Come on, Bob. He gets 1 success. We're going to lose 1 sanity. We'll take that. We can afford to lose 1. I really want to keep the focus token for when we're sort of taking on the ancient Chthonian, if at all possible. We'll keep that 6. Now we're attacking the Chthonian itself. We're using the security squad. Now his influence is 3 because it's impaired, but he gets +1 for the personal assistant, so that's 4 dice. Unfortunately it's -2, so we're only going to get 2 dice again. Come on. Come on, at least 1 success. Oh, no successes. Damn it. So we don't get anything on that. Now, we'd lose 3 there, and that'd kill us. Simple as that. That'd kill us, so we have got to use that, and we've got to hope that we get a 6. If not, it's all over. It's all over. So there you go. It was a bit of a forlorn hope anyway, to be honest. As I say, our 2 best sort of investigators for fighting were up there. And unfortunately, we had to attack the Chthonian first. We couldn't use our best weapon because we had to save it in order to try and beat that Chthonian. So that's just one of the rules whereby it's really kicked us in the nuts, I'm afraid. So that is it for Bob. Now, normally what happens here is we pick all new investigators and stuff. I'll go to the end of the encounter phase first, and then we will sort something out. But as it is, Bob goes to the nearest city space. He's gone insane, and he's on space 15 now. So that's a bit of a blow. These guys, you know, they're still up and running, but at least Vincent, I think Vincent will be able to take them out next turn, to be honest. He should be okay. And oh, that's just a pity for poor old Bob. Bob, he did his best, but unfortunately at the end, Shudmel just takes too much health and sanity off you. So in the end, we just couldn't do it. So poor old Bob and all his stuff is down here. And let's just check when we do all the bad news. On a death. Won't be a minute. Yes, we'll do all that at the end of the Mythos phase. Yeah, the other bits he had to do was, obviously, we put a little health token there because he did get, it was like he was knocked out, he didn't go insane. And, of course, we have to move the Doom token, so that moves down to 13 Doom. So, poor old Bob has bit the dust. So, somebody will have to go there and encounter him because he's got some pretty good stuff there, actually. Pity it for Bob. And I think it's either Jeremy, Anthony or Dave who will be next up, because Bob was my investigator and he's gone. No! So, unfortunate. But, you know, we haven't done too badly. Yeah, it was always a real risk sending Bob. But had to do it. There was just nothing else we could have done. I don't think that, you know, him doing anything else would have been any better. We had to roll the dice, and unfortunately, this time, Catweazle couldn't do it. So Bob has bit the dust, but that's not it for the encounter phase, because next up we have Lily Chen. And here we are with Lily. So, Ashcan Pete's done the business, so what do? Dead easy. What we do is, we have a wilderness encounter, because it's all we can have. So, generic wilderness encounter. Let's have a cut. Right. The farmers. How many farmers do you get in Greenland? I suppose you must get a few. The farmers do not like strangers, but you try to earn their trust. Influence test. Right, an influence test for Lily is 2 dice. Has she got any help? This time Enoch does not help her. And that is it, I think. We have got the lucky rabbit's foot, and we do have a focus. So, influence test, 2 dice. She's not blessed, is she? Come on. She fails. We're going to use the lucky rabbit's foot first, and then we're going to use the focus. Come on. Use another dice. Well, there we go. Failed all those. Oh dear. The last couple of investigators have rolled rubbish. Right. If you fail, the tales they tell you are nothing but lies that hinder your investigation. Impair observation. Brilliant. So our observation goes down to 1. But at least you didn't lose any health and sanity. Right, observation goes down by 1. She now has an observation of 1. Bummer. So, the end of the encounter phase has been horrendous. And it's not going to get any better, is it? No, because next up it is the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are at the Mythos phase. First of all, notice the quick error that I made during the encounter phase where I was just editing it then. Obviously, Ashcan Pete, he actually killed the ancient Chthonian, so because of the fetch stick, he does get a clue. So there we go, there's a clue for him. We'll put it on his player tray. So he now has 3 clues. Righto, is there anything else from last phase? I don't think so. Well, there's poor old Bob. There's poor old Bob up there, ready for somebody to go and encounter him down on space 15. So I think that is everything I had to catch up on. Righto, so nothing for it. We've got to get the deck of laughter. And here it is. So let's see what we get. Well, we've got a reckoning and there's no tentacles. First thing though, it's a reckoning. Then that means, I think we've got to do the, let's do it in order. Omen movement. So we move to a red sunburst. We do have a red sunburst gate in Shanghai. So we move down to 12. So with losing Bob and getting that Omen trap movement, we're on 12 already. There's another Eldritch token at 11 on the Doom track, so we're rattling along. It's going to be a close one, I think. Right, so we've done that. That's sorted. Next up is the Reckoning. Reckoning, discard this card. We are going to discard this card. We can now rest. It's come too late for Bob, but at least it's there for everybody else. So, good. We'll get rid of that. And we should be able to start resting again. That's good. But, yeah, Reckoning. So I need the little Reckoning card. Make sure I try and do it in order. Monsters first. So, yeah, we've got 1 monster. We have got the bloody Chthonian, the ancient one. Each investigator on this space or an adjacent space loses 1 health and sanity. Well, doesn't affect Bob because he's already been knocked out. But it does affect Vincent. So Vincent will lose a health and a sanity. So he's now got 3 sanity and 4 health. But that's not too bad. That is not too bad. That is still better than Bob had. And remember, Vincent is blessed. So that isn't too bad. I think he'll still be able to do in these guys. Right. So that's the monsters. Nobody else. As I say, Bob's already knocked out, so he doesn't count. And yeah, So, looking at the wrong thing. Yes, that's the one I want. Then it's the ancient one. And everybody loses 2 health, 2 sanity, or a combination of the two, I believe. I'll just check. That's right. So, Ashcan first. Ashcan is going to lose 2 health. So he's got 3 sanity and 3 health. And Vincent is going to lose, let's just check. Oh, he is in trouble now. Yeah, he's going to lose 1 of each. So he goes down to 3 health and 2 sanity. He might actually have to move off. We might have to leave those there for the time being. But even moving off down here to Cape Town, it means if it goes off again, he still gets hit by the ancient Chthonian. So, bad. We'll have to think something. We'll have to think of something. Right, anyway, so he's lost 1 of each. Skip Bob. Bob's had it anyway. And, yeah, so I think that had pretty much done for Bob anyway. It's just a pity he couldn't get any hits on those 2 before he got injured, which is a pity. Lily Chen, I think she's going to lose 1 of each as well. So she's going to go down to 2 health and 3 sanity. But it's not so bad for... Well, it's certainly not so bad for Ashcan Pete, because when he rests, he's got Duke, he's got the medical journal and all that sort of stuff. It's not so bad for Lily, really. At least she will get her health and her sanity back if she rests start of next turn. So, right, that's the horrible, like, ancient one reckoning. After that, we have Mythos cards. Well, we got rid of that Mythos card. Woo! So I got rid of it too early, but it doesn't matter, it's gone now. Possessions and conditions. So first up we have Ashcan. He has a blessed condition and a conspiracy theorist. Let's get this out. We will do the conspiracy theorist first. So roll a die. On a 4, 5 or a 6, gain 1 clue. Oh, come on. A 1. Rubbish. Well, we don't have to flip the card either. Put that back over there. Right, don't roll a 1 or a 2 on the blessed condition, please. Come on. Come on, Ashcan. A 4. Whee! That's the one we were really bothered about. So he's still blessed. That's good. Is there anything else he has to roll on? I don't think so. No. So next up it is Vincent. All Vincent has is this blessed condition. We need to keep this. We need to keep... Oh, telling a lie. He's got a righteous condition as well. So we'll do the righteous condition first. On a reckoning, you may flip this card. So let's see what we would have got. Bring the fight to them. You feel invigorated as you burst into the room. Cult members scatter in all directions, but the authorities round them up without a single cultist escaping. The information they give you is highly illuminating. Advance the active mystery by 1 or gain 2 clues. Then we discard this card. We are going to advance the active mystery by 1. So that's not too bad. That worked out okay. Could have been better. I think there are better ones than that in under righteous. But advance the active mystery by 1 means we can put another damage on the ancient Chthonian, because that's the mystery, killing those. So that now has 4 damage on it. So that's good. That's worked out well. And then we've got a roll for the blessed condition. Again, we don't want a 1 or a 2. We get a 3. That's brilliant. He keeps his blessed condition. that is it for Vincent. I don't think he's got anything else. Then we come on to Lily Chen, and Lily Chen doesn't have anything with a reckoning symbol on, so that is it for this card, I think, now. Yes, we've done possessions and conditions. Obviously that was a bit quicker than normal because we didn't have to do it for Bob. Because he's knocked out, you don't have to go through all his conditions and stuff. I'm sure that is the case. They just stay over there. Right, so that's the reckoning part done. Then we spawn a gate. Always a delight. It's going to be Rome. What's more, we cannot look at the top gate anymore because the Otherworld Codex is part of Bob's possession, so, and he's not he doesn't count as an investigator anymore. So we've got Rome. There's Rome, and it needs a monster. So we'll pull a monster. And we get, what do we get? A Star Vampire. Well, at least I haven't got a reckoning, but I don't think these are too clever either. And it's got the special tentacle coming out of an egg symbol. 4 toughness, it's horrible. -1 on the horror check, and you've got to get 3 successes. Where are we getting these horrific monsters from? The combat test is -2, you've got to get at least 2 successes. When this monster is spawned, advance the omen by 1 unless the investigators as a group spend 2 clues. We're going to have to spend those 2 clues because we'll get a disaster otherwise. We're going to have to spend 2 clues. Fortunately, we sort of got a free clue through killing the ancient Chthonian, didn't we? And he's got enough clues, hasn't he? Yes, so he's going to spend 2 clues, Ashcan. Bit of a bummer, but you know, we do not want that. We do not want that omen going on to a disaster. So that's bad. But yeah, there's loads of clues on the board. I'm not particularly bothered about that. That's okay. Let's just spend the clues. It's not like Ashcan hasn't got a shed load of re-rolls anyway, is it? So we'll put the Star Vampire on Rome. And that is that. Oh, we've got, obviously, let's put those 2 clues. Let's discard those. They go into the supply. Right, so that's that done. Could have done without losing them though. Now that you truly grasp the significance of what you have learned, each scribbled note becomes unbearable to contemplate. All the books you have read and the icons you have scrutinised suddenly make sense as a single mind-shattering truth. The terrible truth. Dun, dun, dun. Event. For each clue an investigator has, that investigator discards that clue unless he spends 1 health or 1 sanity. Yay! We spent 2 clues on the Star Vampire. Ah! So he's only got 1 clue left. And I tell you what he's going to do. He'll keep it and spend a sanity. So he's on 2 sanity now. But that's okay because he's got the King James Bible, which gives him an extra sanity when he rests. And he's got Duke, which gives him an extra sanity when he rests. So that covers him off. It's best that he spends sanity. And he keeps that clue. Ah! I love it when something like that happens. If it wasn't for Bob, that'd have been alright as a turn. Just for that happening at the end there. So, we did get, you know, we got a minor silver lining there at the end with that. That was quite funny. I find that quite amusing. Right, so that's that gone. Oh, sorry, do it like that. And that is the end of the Mythos phase. Now it's the end of the Mythos phase. What we've got to do is pick a new investigator. So I've got all the investigators that haven't been used so far, and they're in here. Now, our next player, I'll continue like doing the rolling and all that sort of stuff, but I've got to bow out now because Bob just didn't make it. So somebody else will take over my spot. Now it's either Jeremy, Anthony, or Dave. And it's first come, first serve, lads. So if you've been watching, then get in and say it's going to be you. I'm going to pick who you're going to get because we just don't have the time in the middle of the game. So I've given them a shuffle. I'm going to give them a cut. I'm going to throw them everywhere. And then give them a cut. You won't be getting Rita. You'll be getting whoever's on the back. And it is Carolyn Fern, the psychologist. So let's go through Carolyn Fern, the psychologist. As an action, you or another investigator on your space may discard one madness condition and or perform a arrest action. Excellent. When you and another investigator on your space performs a arrest action, that investigator may recover 1 additional sanity. The mad deserve peace of mind, not death of the spirit. Well said, Carolyn. And it's just struck me. This is sort of the sanity equivalent of Vincent Lee. We're playing Shude Mel. She is going to be an excellent addition to the team. Fantastic. So we've got a doctor and we've got a psychiatrist. They should really help us out. So that was a good draw. After that encounter phase, I've started drawing well. So she's got 5 health and 7 sanity. That's good. A law of 2, okay. Influence of 3 is good, so that's not a bad replacement for Bob. Observation of 2 is okay. Strength of 2 is okay, and her will is good at 4. Let's flick it over. She starts in Rome, Italy, which is devastated. Perhaps she went there, you know, to try and help with a relief effort. She gets a Dream Diary asset and a Death 13 unique asset. Ooh, that sounds funky. Let's just read her personal backstory. When Carolyn Fern's latest patient, Malachi, told her of his troubled nightmares, she never expected he would turn up dead the very next day, murdered by the very weapon of which he dreamed. A gifted psychologist and skilled in the art of hypnosis, Carolyn has been following the clues Malachi left in his diary across 2 continents. Convinced that Malachi's death is in some way connected to the growing unrest in the world, she is determined to uncover the truth that lies behind the murder of her former patient. So there you go, we won't read that. And we won't read it for Bob either until somebody goes and encounters him. So Carolyn Fern will be going to Rome, and I'll dig out the stuff now. Well, may as well have a look at that Dream Diary and stuff, and I'll put her standee on the board. Won't be a moment. Okay, I'm back. So there's Carolyn. She's up there in Rome. Let's have a look at this asset and unique asset she's got. So she's got the Dream Diary, which has got a cost of 1. It's an item tome. Gain +1 law during otherworld encounters. When you perform a rest action, spawn a clue. Brilliant. Always good to spawn clues. And this Death 13. Oh, it's a tarot card. My look, unique asset. Trinket Tarot. Whenever a mystery is solved, retreat doom by 1. Woohoo! We love it. Oh, yes. Brilliant. I think she is a Cities in Ruin character, isn't she? You can always tell because like their sort of assets sort of help out against the ancient one, and obviously shoving the Doom back helps out against Shude Mel, so you don't get a load of disasters. So yes, good pick by me. So whoever out of Jeremy, Dave or Anthony gets Carolyn, good luck. We need you. So I'll put all these other ones back. You never know, we might need them. So I'll put those back. And yes, that is the end of the Mythos phase. What a turn. What a bad turn. I had to do a lot of retconning yesterday. And as I say though, it didn't really help us out that much. We still got the disaster. We still had two gates on the board. And yeah, we got a bit of sanity back, but that didn't help poor old Bob, did it? Because poor old Bob, yes, he couldn't get past the Chthonian, never mind, get onto the ancient Chthonian. But that said, I'm feeling a lot better about where we're up to, because Ashcan Pete and Lily, they're just beasts. They're just going to kill anything. They're at the wrong end of the board, but they'll kill anything. Vincent's in a bit of bother. He may have to sort of retreat from there. He can't stay within 1 either. he's probably going to have to, you know, move a couple of spaces. But he's got a ship ticket, so he can move. He could go to space 11 or he could go to space 18. Or, yeah, if he's going to use a ship ticket, he'll have to do that. Or he could go up to space 10. I think that's far enough away to stop him, you know, just in case we have another reckoning next turn. Yes, so if he travels and rests somewhere, I think that'll help him out. The other two can rest as well, and then they can start. They'll probably both move to Arkham, I would have thought. I think they both move to Arkham. I think Ashcan Pete can use his special ability to actually get to San Francisco, because moves to Arkham, uses his special ability to get to Space 5, then he can spend his train ticket and get to San Francisco. So perhaps he can start heading towards Shanghai. I don't know. Anyway, yes, we need to get somebody else down here to finish these off. Perhaps Lily comes down this way, or perhaps even Carolyn. Carolyn might be able to make it. I don't think she'll be taking on the Star Vampire, but yeah, because Rome and Shanghai, they're not going to come round again for another cycle. Okay, if we get a monster surge, then yeah, perhaps we should. Perhaps she should like deal with it. I don't know, but yeah. Oh God, we were so close. And poor Bob, poor old Bob. But yes, that is it for turn 7. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, thanks for all the views, thanks for all the likes, and thank you for all the dislikes. Thanks for all the help and support, and as ever, if you've noticed any mistakes, there might be a few. It got a bit frantic there, so I might have made a few. I've been trying to keep a lid on it by uploading, you know, after every phase, so hopefully I caught most of it. But if you've noticed where I've made a mistake, please let me know. If only there was a mistake that meant that Bob could stay with us, but I don't think I've messed up there. I think he's had it. And as I say, yes, we've got a new investigator, Carolyn Fern, and either Jeremy, Anthony or Dave. If you get in touch, first come, first serve, and you are up. And, ooh, right, anything else? Oh yes, anybody who's gone to Board Game Links to watch any of the videos, thank you very much. And exactly the same to anybody who's been to BGG to thumb up the videos there or make a comment. Thank you so much. It's great that you keep involved with the channel. Fantastic. So that is it for turn 7. I hope you join me for turn 8. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.